Hey everybody, you're watching Ready Set Drone, and today I've got a brand new Mavic Air in Onyx Black. Now, if you've never set up a DJI product before, it can be a little confusing. If you have, you can probably skip this video, honestly, but I'm gonna try and show folks who have never owned or set up a DJI product before the quickest and best way to do it, so stay tuned. Okay, so first of all, this is a first look at my new baby. I've had the red one for a while, love it, but this one is just so cool looking. The red one reminds me of like a Ferrari. This is gonna be more like a Corvette. It's flat black, it's not shiny, it's really cool looking. But I've already unboxed it and I kind of have everything from the box sitting here on the table. And I just want to take you through the basics if you've never set one of these things up before. There's a couple of things to consider. Number one thing is you should know that these two little pieces right here unfold, and when you're sitting the drone down on the table, it's good to have those unfolded just as a point of reference. These are also antennas, so if you didn't know that, unfolding them helps with your transmission distance and such. That's a good thing to know. The biggest thing you're going to have to do is go ahead and set up an account with DJI. So they're going to want you to put in an email address and a password and set up an account with them, because you'll have to log into that when you open up DJI Go 4. Now, one other point, go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and download DJI Go 4 on your mobile device. You're going to need that in order to see the live view and do a lot of stuff with it. You can fly this drone line of sight, but it's a lot more fun with the app. So I recommend, if you're on Android, get the Google Play one, and if you're on iOS, go to the App Store and download it. And you'll need that when you actually turn it on for the first time. You'll have to log in to register, basically to say to DJI, hey, I'm this person and this is my drone. Start your warranty, all that good stuff. One other point, if you live in the US, you do need to go ahead and put a sticker on this drone identifying it with your FAA number. Now, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, any drone that weighs more than 0.55 pounds, that's a little over half a pound, I think that's about 250 grams or so. I'll double check the exact number of grams, but 0.55 pounds between all the way up to 50 pounds, you have to register it if you're a non-professional flyer, a non-Part 107 flyer, and you're just flying for fun. You register, you get a number, and then every drone you fly, you put that number on that drone. So I'll put mine right down here in the battery compartment, so it's not visible from the outside, but if anybody ever checked, it's right there. So it's interesting because I actually bought this drone by itself. It did not come with the combo pack, but I had a combo pack before, so it's a different set of things. I have two batteries here because one of them belongs to the other drone. This is my new one, this is my old one. You're going to want to charge your battery. Your battery charger is right here, and basically this end just plugs into the pins on this side, and it plugs straight into the wall, and it's going to just charge over time. You'll see these lights start to blink, and when all four of these lights are lit up green all the time, that means it's fully charged. Now, you can also tell the status of your battery by just pushing that button, and if it's all four lights, it means your battery is fully charged. If it's two, it's halfway. You know, it's an approximation. If you did get the Fly More combo pack, you'll get this little quad charger, which will charge 4 batteries at once. The nice thing about this is it actually just works with your existing charger. You just take the cable and plug it in right here. There's a spot for the cable to run through, and then you set it down, and then you set all 4 batteries on it, and you can charge 4 batteries in succession. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then of course your transformer will have 2 USB slots, and that's how you charge your remote control. So your remote control has this cable right here. This is where it charges. It's on, as you're facing the remote, it's on the left. You unplug this, you plug a micro USB cable into that, and then you plug the other end into the transformer, and it will charge the charger for you. And there's a little light on this guy as well that actually, if you hit the power button, it'll blink to tell you how much you have charged. Now, one thing that was a little confusing to me, the Mavic Pro actually comes with a USB-C cable. Now, USB-C is different than micro USB. It's a slightly different shape. It looks really similar, but it's a slightly different shape. Here's the two of them. but it comes with an adapter that allows it to actually work with micro USB. So in order to charge your remote control, you put this little adapter on your USB-C cable on this end, and then it will actually fit in right here, and you want to make sure you put it in the right direction. Don't force it. There we go. And now I can charge this remote using the same USB-C cable with this adapter. Now, why did they give you a USB-C cable instead of a micro USB cable? That's because the DJI Mavic Air actually has 8 gigs of memory built into it. Now, this little slot right here in the back is where your memory card is, and currently, I don't know if this one has a memory card in it. It looks like maybe it doesn't right now. But you'll see this USB-C slot, and the nice thing about USB-C is there's no up or down. You can't put it in upside down. If you plug this directly into your computer, it will actually show up as a hard drive, and you can pull the footage off the internal memory. That's what this is for. You can't charge the drone this way, by the way. It won't charge the battery even if the battery's on it. Now currently I don't have a battery on it. I'll go ahead and put a battery on it. It's right here. So you'll want to make sure that you put it in the right way. Basically there's these pins right down here, and then there's the receptors for those pins where the contacts with the electricity happen. Now this is an intelligent battery, which means it actually has firmware built onto it, and you may have to update the firmware when you first plug all this in, including the firmware on the battery. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to put it in. You put in the smaller end back here first, and then it just pushes in like that. Now on the side are 2 little grips that you push in, and that's how you take it out. If for some reason you can see the red over here, you see this little bit of red? That means that you haven't got the thing all the way locked. This battery is not secure, so push it down and it secures. Make sure both of these things are fully secure and you can't see any red. Now, one other thing to take into account, this drone has a gimbal guard right here in the front. You don't want to fly with the gimbal guard because this inhibits the motion of the gimbal, and it will actually burn out the motors if you do too much of that. So now I've got my battery on. My battery is fully charged, as you can see right there. My remote control is also fully charged because it was charging a little while ago. So I'm going to set my Mavic Air down right here. I've got the gimbal guard off. You always want to have the gimbal guard off. By the way, the Mavic Air does come with some spare cables. Those cables are for your remote control, and they go, this right here, it defaults to an iOS cable. So I'll plug this back in. This up here is micro USB, and then this end of this cable is iOS. If you happen to have an Android phone, there's a cable in here that will work with Android. But this one is designed for iOS, and that's what I have, so I'm just going to use that. So the other thing you need to do is take these little knobs and rotate them into the top here on the remote control. So these things, actually, you know what? These are the spare ones. There are 2 right in here. You see those? These 2 were spares. It comes with 4 total. In case you lose 1 or 2, you'll have some extras. So I'm just going to leave those in here and have that on here. So now I'm ready to go on the remote. If you're going to fly indoors, or if you're just starting off and you're a little nervous, you can apply your prop guards. Now, I'll just show you real quick how the prop guards go on. So you can see, if you've got them right, they actually will connect together. So this is my first time doing this. So you actually put this little slot in right here. This gives you just a bit more protection. Slide those 2 together, and then put this on right here. And make sure it's snapped all the way in. So there's prop guards on the left, and of course, if you put the prop guards on one side, you need to do the other side because it will be very unbalanced with prop guards on just one side. So that's the right way they go on. So you can see they kind of connect over here on the sides, and they fit very nicely right under here on the ends of the arms, right in front of the motors. So now we have our prop guards on. So now we are going to go ahead and connect our phone to the remote, and I'm sure there's going to be a firmware update needed. So that's something you always need to account for. As I said earlier, you want to download DJI Go 4. The Mavic and the Mavic Air work with DJI Go 4, as does several other DJI drones. Some drones and the Osmo work with DJI Go, so don't be confused. There are two different programs. So let me go ahead and just turn this guy on. I've got just making sure I've got the gimbal guard off so I don't strain the motor. Set it there. Remote is on. Now, one other thing, you see this little red blinking light? That little light means currently that it's not connected. The remote's not paired with anything. The remote should come automatically paired or pre-paired with the Mavic Air, meaning that the two should talk to each other right out of the box. The antennas need to be unfolded and put parallel at about a 45-degree angle away from the actual remote. So this is an ideal position for the antennas. You don't want them like this. You don't want them like this. You don't want them like this. You want them 45 degrees, and they should fit nicely parallel away from the remote. That's the ideal antenna position. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up DJI Go 4. Plug the phone in. Now the phone slots into these two places right here, and should fit into your cable pretty easily. It says fully charged battery before use. Yes, I know that. Okay, so it's saying basic fly safe database update. I'm going to go ahead and update that. It's just basically telling you where you can and can't fly around airports and such. And if you don't know the basic rules, I'll tell you real quick. Don't fly higher than 400 feet, which I guess would be about 120 meters or so in the air. Don't fly over crowds or people. Don't fly over roads. Don't fly over stadiums. Don't fly within 5 miles of an airport. And maintain visual line of sight at all times. Those are the keys. So it says new firmware update. So that was what I was expecting. So I'm going to go ahead and update the firmware. That's one thing, is I strongly recommend that before you take this thing out and try to fly it for your buddies or film something with it, do all this setup ahead of time, because ultimately there's going to be firmware updates. There's going to be some little challenges you're going to run into along the way. And it's better to just go ahead and get all that stuff done in advance, so that you don't have to do it out in the field. Plus, it's easier to do all these updates on a Wi-Fi connection versus doing them over cellular data. Okay, so once your firmware update is complete, that is a good thing. Start flight. So it says activate your Mavic Air. So this is where it's saying you're agreeing to fly by the rules, and you're going to log into your Mavic Air. What should we name this one? All right, so Black Mavic. Mode 2 is the most common mode, where the left stick, at least in North America, where the left stick is your yaw and your thrust, and your right stick is your direction. So I recommend staying in mode 2. You can switch to imperial or metric if you like. And I'm going to switch out of beginner mode, but if you're just starting, you can stay in. And going to hit activate. Okay, so after all that, we got it pretty much ready to go. At least it was for me. The only other thing I want to make sure I do is go ahead and compass calibration. So in order to get to compass calibration, you hit this ready to go, and you hit calibrate here on the compass. Hit start. And then you just pick up the drone and you rotate it clockwise a couple times. And then you turn it sideways and rotate it clockwise. Careful not to drop it. It's a little more. Okay, and then it says compass calibration is done. So now you'll notice it says up here ready to go vision in the upper left. That's because the drone is indoors and I don't have enough satellites for it to fly in GPS, because the roof and the ceiling are blocking the satellites. If I was outdoors, it would say ready to go GPS. So I'm just going to show you real quick, in order to fire up the props, you pull the sticks down and in like this. Now, it won't actually take off like that. It'll just sit here idling. And then if you hold them down and in again, they'll stop. So that's basically it. The DJI Mavic Air is ready to fly. I've got the prop guards on for indoor flight, but again, if you're experienced at flying drones, you probably don't need them. Just gonna be a little bit safer if you're flying indoors or if you're not used to flying. Remember the rules, fly safe, and if you wanted a lot more in-depth stuff and a lot more about the app, about the drone itself, etc., please subscribe to Ready Set Drone, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
We're about to take off the new Mavic Air in the dining room. Here we go. Oh.